All right, I ain't know who needs to hear this, but if you are on a dating app or any kind of matchmaking relationship service, matchmaking relationship app or anything like that, you are not as desirable as you think you are, okay? And I get how that sounds. I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm really not. But it's kind of the truth. You're not as desirable as you think you are. At least you're probably not. Here's the thing. These kinds of apps and services, they have a tendency, whether it's through deliberate design or whether it's the nature of how they work, but they have a tendency to make you feel like you've got way more choice than you actually do, right? And what tends to happen is that people feel like they've got so much choice, so they'll turn down so many options. Some of them could be really great options, but they'll just turn them down because you're looking for this perfect person. You know, this person that ticks all these boxes, right? This perfect individual that you're looking for. And because this other person that comes across, although they maybe match everything you want, but that one thing that they don't match, it's like, nah, I'm going to turn them down. I'm going to wait for this perfect person because I've got so much choice. You don't. You have about as much choice on these dating apps as you do in real life. And by the fact that you're on a dating app, you probably don't have as much choice as you think you do. Okay. And look, I'm not even saying dating apps are bad or, relationship matchmaker services are bad. I get it. People have busy lives. People go to work. People do this. People do that. And it just might be that the way your life is, you're not meeting the person that you want to spend your life with, right? Because meeting people in and of itself is easy. Meeting people you like is pretty easy too. But meeting somebody that you like and you want to spend your whole life with, that's where it can get a little bit difficult. I get it. And you're not always going to be in that place where you're going to meet that person. So these dating apps or, relationship apps or things like that, I get it. That's where they come in handy. But they have a tendency to make you think that you've got way more choice than you actually do. And you don't. Okay? You don't. Now, look, I'm not saying you should just go ahead with some random weirdo of a person. I mean, you should have standards, of course. You should have values, of course. These are important. But at the same time, don't confuse your preferences with standards. Okay? Because even having preferences isn't necessarily a problem, but they are just that. Preferences. They're not really that essential. They're not really that important. And when you start to put way more weight into a preference rather than concentrating on what the actual values are, you might find that you're turning people down who could be a good match for you, could be a great match for you, but because they don't have that one thing, you're turning them down. And it's just a preference. It's not that important. And now you're sitting on these apps for months and months and months, paying a monthly fee, 10, 20, whatever pound a month they charge. Months and months and months go by. You're not meeting anybody, just paying the monthly fee, and these services are getting rich off you. All the while, you could have had a great relationship with somebody had you just recognized that you don't have as much choice as these apps make you think you do, and just went ahead with somebody that was a good match. But anyway, I rambled enough. Peace.